I'm Frank Powers, and this is Lifestyle Tucson, the program where I speak to our neighbors, the people behind the scenes of our amazing organizations that are 501c3 nonprofits. Our friends are informing you how they serve our community, and they are here to give you updates on future projects. Let's make some new friends today. Yeah. In 1969, San Antonio was flourishing. A city of over 700,000 residents, the Alamo City was rapidly growing. However, with that growth, the city's homeless population also increased. Brought together because of a desire to serve others, 5 San Antonio Presbyterian churches joined efforts, and the San Antonio Urban Council was created, providing healthcare, education, homelessness support, senior citizen support, and childcare to low-income San Antonio families. The council began many programs that would continue helping those in need for years to come. And as the years went on, the organization grew into a nationwide mission, including right here in Tucson. Endeavor's Veterans Supportive Services program rapidly rehouses and prevents homelessness among very low-income veterans and their families by providing homelessness prevention and stabilization services, one-on-one case management, and assistance in obtaining VA and other public benefits, helping to restore dignity and offer hope to veterans. In 2024, they served 181,264 clients across all Endeavor's programs. So let's see if we can't add a little more, because today I'm fortunate to speak with Sandee Chavez, Outreach Intake Specialist at Endeavor's. Sandee, welcome to Lifestyle Tucson.
Hi, good morning. Thank you.
I'm happy to have you in here. I love making new friends, and I love helping veterans. So let's talk about some of what your program is all about, because I gave a little bit of what the history is, but why don't you give us the 101 about everything we need to know about what you're doing over at Endeavor's?
Okay, Endeavor's here in the Pima County or Tucson area is HVRP, which is the Homeless Veterans Reintegration Program. So what it is it's helping the homeless and the at-risk veterans. Our main focus is employment. We do have resources and referrals to the homelessness if they should need those services.
That's really important. And again, especially helping our veterans, because when I started Lifestyle Tucson, that's become one of the biggest missions about the program is I talk to all your great veterans organizations in town, but homelessness has become quite the problem over the past several years, growing and on the rise across, all statistics. But the fact that it's happening to veterans is just, I'll just say, a crime, because these people really put it all on the line for us here. Veterans are very important. So really, tell us about some of the programs that you've got going on and how we're helping all these folks, and not just them, but their families, active military, veterans, as well as our Gold Star families as well, I believe, right?
Right, correct.
So tell us about what you're doing down there and some of the wellness programs and the workforce wellness.
Well, our main focus is the employment end of it. If they are at risk, the first thing I'm going to do as the intake specialist is I'll do a pre-screening. And once we get past the initial pre-screening and they do qualify for a program, our focus is doing the intake. Then they get assigned a case manager / employment specialist, which then does 2 assessments, which they evaluate what the veteran needs. Do they need more certification? Do they need training? Do they need CDL, forklift, so that way they can get better paying jobs and sustainability.
And is this some of what you guys training? You help them get a CDL? You help them get some of these real certifications that really level them up in the world?
Yes, we do. We look into different certifications. Like I said, forklift certification. We collaborate with many different community partnerships. And once we get those community partnerships established, we connect our veterans to that. And Endeavor's, as long as they see that the client is serious and that's what they want to do, and they will thrive in that, they will be willing to assist that veteran attain those.
So let's talk a little bit about more of the specifics then.
Okay.
Tell me about what some of these programs are. Are they classes? Are they weekly? What does one then do? Like you say, you have your partners, right? So name some of these partners and just go for it. Let's talk about some of the folks that are helping you out.
HDS, WTA, they're all CDL. I believe WTA no longer has the CDL, but they have the equipment, heavy equipment operator. HDS Truck Driving Institute.
Oh, okay. So it's all about, that's amazing. My family, because a long line of truck drivers, let me tell you that.
Oh, okay.
So, and CDLs and all that stuff, and working in warehouses and being the shop steward of things like that back where I grew up. We had a lot of that going on in my family, and it's a good career. Sometimes I always tell these kids, college is college, but you also want to go into an industry that maybe it is that, where you want to just go find some blue collar thing and really learn all of the skills that it takes to run a warehouse, to run equipment, and to do all that, because that's very important too. And sometimes that gets overlooked. Trade schools, I find these days, can be far more important than maybe going to take Western English, French derivative literature of the 17th century.
Right.
So that's kind of the idea. So it's great that you're offering all of these programs. Now, there's something I do want to talk about, and I was looking at all of these guidelines that you do have on the website and just some of your beliefs, and one of the core things. And it is the fact that this started as with churches, but there's a word on there that I can't pronounce, but it's important that everyone knows this, that what is proselytizing? Is that how I say it? Non-proselytizing?
Yes, that is how you pronounce it.
Okay,
and
good.
Though it's a faith-based program, faith can mean many things to many different people. Endeavors practices inclusion, so we service everybody that is in need.
And I think that that's very important, because sometimes organizations like this, you'll get flack, or you'll get opinions from people. It's like they think it's some sort of conversion therapy, or they think that you're trying to inundate them or get them to join. And it says right there that no, you're not. And I always talk to a lot of organizations, even again, Gospel Rescue Missions, one of my favorite guests on the show. And I was trepidatious about asking her that. And she was like, thank you for asking me that. It's important that everyone knows that they are welcome and it is safe, and we have no ulterior motives, because this is what religion is supposed to represent. It's supposed to just represent helping humans, helping people, not trying to inundate you and get you to join something and or then give money. So I think that that's a really important thing that you have right there on the front of the webpage. So really great. And you can go check out endeavors.org, and you're going to find the big organization, which is excellent because you'll learn the history. I only told you a small bit of it in that intro, but if you do want to find the website, probably the easiest way to do it is to just go Google it, and Google it with Tucson, because you're going to find it at endeavors.org/Arizona-homeless-veterans-reintegration. So why don't you go ahead and just Google that, and it'll pop up for you. Pima County's right there on the list. It's bilingual, it looks like, as well. So it's a great website that you can really explore to find out everything that's going on. You're located at 2730 East Broadway Boulevard here in Tucson. The phone number is 520-355-1002 if you're looking to get involved or get someone you know involved. Or maybe you yourself just want to learn about it so that you can help spread the word and the mission of what's going on here, with you doing everything you're doing trying to help folks get jobs. So let's go on and talk about maybe a success story that you can think of if you've got one just off the top of your head. Do you have any personal stories or anything that you know that you can tell us and share that'll really inspire some folks to understand what you're really all about here?
There already are several. We just began in the Tucson area in July.
Oh, really?
Got up and running in October. So in that short period of time, we've already seen forklift certifications, CDLs. But one story that really sticks out is I happened to witness it in the lobby. We had somebody that was released from incarceration into another program, essentially feeling defeated. He felt like he wasn't going to be able to get a job. He wasn't be able to get his life back on track. And to witness a grown man that's about 6 foot, grown big man, jumping up and down and fist pumping the case manager was amazing to see his happiness, his glow, that he was getting not only certification, but connections. And he was saying that where he was staying at, he was telling everybody they got to get connected to Endeavors because they were doing amazing things there. That's
exact inspirational story I'm looking for. And in such a short time. Well, welcome to Tucson.
Right.
That's incredible. So way to go. So how did Endeavors wind up coming to Tucson finally? What made it that it was able to kind of come to the area? And how long has this been being worked on?
I'm not sure before the scenes, but I do know that they got the HBRP grant in July, got up and running. I came on board October 15th, coming up on my first year birthday. And yeah, they got up and running in October, and we already have full caseloads.
Wow.
And now have migrated to the Sierra Vista area too. They also have a HBRP grant in the Sierra Vista area.
That's fantastic.
Right.
Wow. Okay. What other programs do you think you could share today just to talk people into getting involved or more of the behind the scenes of what is going on? Because there's a whole bunch here listed. There's housing assistance referrals, there's resume building, which is very important, on the job training, mental health resources referral, peer support, supportive services, job placement, and career counseling. There's a lot of things to pick from. So out of that great potpourri, what do you want to talk about right now real quick?
Again, our main focus is employment. But as the outreach intake specialist, when I am there doing the intake for the veteran, I'm assessing, we're having a conversation, and I let them talk so that way I can figure out what are their needs. Are they looking into more recovery services? Do they need housing? Are they homeless already, or are they in transitional housing? All depending where the veteran is at is where I'm going to guide them, because the referral process starts with me. I don't feel comfortable passing them on to a case manager, employment specialist, if they're still struggling with, say, for instance, homelessness. Then I'm going to gear them towards where everything begins, which is the VA center, to apply there with the homeless clinic, Building 90. And from there comes all the housing. If they need mental health, I do an outreach every Wednesday with a whole group of outreach. It's probably more than 50 of us that will actually go out into the homeless camps.
Really? Tell me
yes.
more about that. That's fascinating.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's brave, but I'm sure it's also not as scary as some might think, right? Because a lot of people demonize the homeless to a degree.
Right.
But I know that it's not just go on about it.
Okay, a whole group of us. I would say there's probably more than 50 of different community collaborative. We go out to the homeless community. We do yell out outreach, because once the homeless know that you're out there to do outreach, they kind of relax. Of course, they are on guard, because you got to remember that's their living space.
Right.
So they're very in tune to who's walking into their camps. We've even gone to 100 acres where we go in and just yell outreach. So once
What's
they know
100 acres?
100 acres is the tents and the camps that you see off of golf links.
Okay.
The big encampment
Yes,
that you see off of the side of the highway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the homeless encampment.
Okay.
So
Okay.
100 acres, they consider it.
That's what it's called? Okay.
Yes.
I feel like I've heard that in the past, and you think of Winnie the Pooh, but it's certainly not that.
Yeah, no, it's a whole different meaning. But you do have to be careful. I'm not going to sugarcoat that one. And again, it's just because they're very aware. You got to remember that's their living quarters. So it would be like somebody essentially coming into your home and just opening up the door and saying, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
But we do yell outreach. A lot of us, we carry water. El Rio, Red, I partnered up with him. They know him as Red. He used to drive a red truck. They know he carries food. So the homeless will essentially come running to him. And so I've attached myself kind of to him, and then I help him write down the names of who he's servicing. At that same time, I'm asking, is anybody a veteran? So that's my closest contact to be able to find the veterans that are in the homeless encampments.
I mean, that's incredible. And again, brave, important work that you're doing, because it is. And that's why you got to go out there. Numbers on, no one should go out there alone doing this sort of thing. I've had friends that do this, and they are putting themselves in a dangerous spot. I've had girls that do this, and luckily they befriend some of the locals on 4th Avenue, and they do that, and they know them and they trust them. But at the same time, you got to be careful, and strength in numbers is smart, and you're doing it smart and safe, because that's very important. So keep that in mind when you are looking to do this. If you are out there yourselves and you are moved by this, the best way to help would probably be volunteer. Do you accept volunteers at your organization? Are you looking for volunteers?
We do.
Okay, great. What are some of the volunteer opportunities for folks here in town?
We've not gotten any volunteers yet. Like I said, we're newly established here in the Tucson, Pima County area, but we are looking to collaborate with people that want to volunteer.
That's huge, because again, there's a huge opportunity to even get in kind of on the ground floor and get started. Have you had, I feel like I was looking and I saw some past events. Have you done events here in Tucson yet? Are you doing any events to get people aware of what you're doing and going to other events, things like that?
In the future, we're going to plan a stand down. Right now, we haven't. I usually attach myself to other events. As the outreach person, I do community events, job fairs, different anybody that's having any kind of event, stand downs, I usually try to attach myself to, because that way we get the word out that we're out there to help veterans
Okay, great.
in Pima County.
Are you going to be at, I like to name drop my other friends.
Okay.
Esperanza and Escalante. They do a lot of great stuff for veterans, and they're having a job fair, I believe, soon. So everyone should be aware of that one and maybe get involved there.
Yes.
Also, Rockin' for Heroes. Have you heard about the Rockin' for Heroes concert?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I already got 4 tickets to that. I'll for our team, just in case. But I did email them, and I do want to attach myself to that event also.
Heck yeah, because they're going to be my guest on in a little bit, and it's really important. That's a great thing. They celebrate active duty military veterans,
Right.
first responders, and Gold Star families. November 9th, it's a big free concert honoring veterans. So another great way for all of us to get together, get the message out there, and again, strengthen numbers, just like when you go out to help people. The more organizations that you could be on the side of and work hand in hand with is important, because the thing about Tucson is, and Arizona in general, we have more nonprofits per capita than anywhere. So I do find sometimes you have organizations that they're both trying to do the same thing with limited resources, when in fact you got to partner up and team up, just like you're doing. We're going to start our own new event. Nope. Start by joining the other events and helping them spread the word so that these things can grow. Because even Rockin' for Heroes is only going to be celebrating their 5th year. And just in the last year, they've grown and found so many new partners since the last time I spoke to them last year. So it's really important for young organizations to absolutely go out, make friends, and team up with other great organizations in town. And I'm sure that you're even open to suggestions from other great groups that might want to contact you at the contact stuff I told before, but I'll give it to you again in the recap so that you can get involved with endeavors here in Pima County. What else is on your mind when it comes to some of the great things with your organization? Because I often like to ask, what is the secret about endeavors that we may not know?
The compassionate, loving care that we give. I've been at other agencies, and not like I'm putting down anybody else by any means, but sometimes your case workload can be so heavy that it's kind of difficult to be able to give that veteran or that person, that client that you're servicing, the one-on-one treatment that they deserve, especially our servicing heroes, right? Endeavors fully believes, and I have witnessed it myself, that we actually get the time to sit down with the client, and we listen and we respond to everything that they need. We're not rushing them in, and they're not about the number, they're about the person.
That's important.
It's very important.
Yeah, those people need to be seen and feel seen, because that's the other thing about homeless, is that a lot of us really do turn that head. We put the blinders on when we pull up on the highway at the exit, and there's someone there in the corner, and you just kind of, let me look at my drink, let me fit it with the radio. I don't want to face it. I don't even want to look at it. And that's the problem. I don't want to look at, and I don't mean it as the person, I mean the problem of homelessness. I don't want to address it. I don't want to address the problem of homelessness right now. I'm on my way home. I don't even want to look. And I think that is one of the bigger issues that we've found. I think that to a degree, it is some of the reason homelessness is even growing, is because people have become so accustomed to not wanting to feel uncomfortable. And when you see someone like that, it can make you feel very uncomfortable. Not unsafe, you're in your car, but just uncomfortable about what's going on in the world or what is happening on my street, in my town. I'm uncomfortable, and they don't want to face it. They don't want to address it. But life is uncomfortable because life is real, especially for veterans, especially for homelessness. And appreciate what your situation is when you are able to drive in your car from your job to your home, that these people do not have that luxury. And it's really important for you to acknowledge them and help them out by getting them to endeavors more than anything else. It's not about the dollar on the corner. That's what Lisa Chastain always talks about from Gospel Rescue Mission. You know, give them a bottle of water more than giving them $1. But try to get them to be aware that there are organizations out there that want to help. And I think that they are in disbelief of that, or a lack of trust, that there are great organizations like yours. I talk to them all the time, and you really want to help. All right. Yes. I could tell me how much you want to help. That's all you care about, because I can tell this is like your life's work. This is your career, is helping folks out. And that's really important.
Right. I've been doing social services for over 20 years. And I have found my passion being also talking about Gospel Rescue Mission. That's where I began it. in 2015, I started working with the homeless.
Wow.
So recently, I'm going to say I would say it's under 3 years, I had an uncle pass away by himself in his trailer with his 5 little puppies. Veteran, served in Vietnam. So that made me want to gear everything towards veterans, because our veterans that serviced our country, heroes, should not be ending their story like that.
No, not at all. And they are heroes. And that's a big deal. And it shocks me all the time that this is how veterans get treated. The homelessness issue is the thing. The fact that the amount of veterans that suffer from this is shocking. I don't know what it takes. When I see a man in a wheelchair that's homeless, I'm like, what does it take to help this person? And then I see a man in a wheelchair and he's missing a leg. And we haven't helped this person to just be able to sit somewhere comfortably in a climate-controlled room, just watching TV, right? Just able to live. Why does he have to be out there shuffling around, begging to survive? Right. And that blows my mind. That what more proof do you need than someone's literally missing a leg, you know?
Right.
And it's shocking to me because, again, I go to these homeless organizations that do help veterans, and you'll see that a lot. You'll see that where people are missing an appendage. What more do they have to prove? That they need help and they deserve some help, you know?
Right. So
it's a heartbreaking situation when it's right in front of you. And then that's, again, why people look away. But thank you for looking so hard for 10 years. 10 years. Congratulations on your 10th anniversary of helping folks out in the past 10 years here. How long have you been doing it now? You said you started in how long?
I've been doing social service work for over 20 years.
Over 20 years,
but
right.
Homeless since 2015.
That's incredible. I mean, it really is. And it is people like you that are making the difference. And thank you for doing it. I mean, you can see how I get, because it's rare. It's rare. You know, I don't know how you do it, because, you know, I'm not making it up. I'm practically projecting. It's me when I pull up when I pull up at the highway that wants to look at his drink, wants to change the radio, that doesn't want to face it, because it's so heartbreaking. It's so sad sometimes, but you are the reason that it's not sad. You're the reason that it's a success story and that there's positive to this and that there are people working toward it. So donate some money to this great organization, because you can't donate your time yet. They're still building it up. But if it sounds like something that you want to get involved in, there's a big red button on their homepage there that says donate. So get involved and get with it, because there's a lot going on at Endeavors. If you have any last calls to action right now to anybody listening, what would they be?
Well, you may not be that veteran in need, or you may not know a veteran in need, but listening to this story alone, look out for those veterans. If you see somebody wearing a hat that says they served, stop and make sure they're okay. Let them know about Endeavors, that we're here. Our compassionate service is here to serve them. And it's not only finding them just employment, getting them on their feet, but it's clothing, it's a nice shave and a clean haircut. I've witnessed one of our case managers walking alongside that veteran to go and get cleaned up so that he could be job ready. So there's a lot of services. And like I said, I can't stress enough, I witness our whole team. 2 of us are veterans on the team, and the rest family of veterans. So we have a passion to serve, and it's really a team that wants to be out there helping these veterans change their lives.
It's huge. So get involved. You can go find them on Facebook, also over on LinkedIn, because today we made friends with Sandee Chavez, outreach intake specialist at Endeavors, who is committed to providing a helping hand to restore dignity and improve the quality of life for every client, every time, in every community that they serve. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate you.
This was Lifestyle Tucson. Bing bong bing, time for a recap. What a great conversation with those amazing folks from Endeavors. I really enjoyed Sandee. And I always love talking about helping out the homeless. Here's a fun little side note. That's a little thing that happened during this episode. I accidentally was on the air while we were recording that during the week on Mix FM in the middle of the day. So everybody got a little bonus episode about Endeavors back in the day, and Larry Mack came running in saying, "You're on the air!" It's never happened before and hasn't happened since, but it was bound to happen one of those times. So a memorable time with my new friends at Endeavors. You can get all the details by giving them a visit. Endeavors is over at 2730 East Broadway Boulevard in Tucson, Arizona. Their phone number is 520-355-1022. Go find them on Facebook and Instagram. Just go look for Endeavors, and it's Endeavors Tucson. So I want to thank our new friends at Endeavors for joining me today. You've been listening to Lifestyle Tucson. If you're a nonprofit that would like to be on the show, email lifestyletucson@gmail.com. For more information about this program or to listen to something you may have missed, go to the Sunday Mornings page on klpx.com, kfma.com, mixfm.com, or espntucson.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and Audible, or wherever fine podcasts are endeavoring. Follow on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, especially at Lifestyle Tucson, because I'm your BFF, your best Frank forever, Frank Powers. And toot toot Tucson, I love you the most.